Welcome, traveler, to Snarg's House of Sin.
I can feel the spark, coruscating power in the dead of night. I will be divine.
Mr. Funny Man, we are now recording and live, so go ahead and say your funny things, Mr. Funny Man.
I just meant in general. Don't be a dick. Anyway, welcome back to Snarg's House of Sin, the podcast where two unhinged internet doofuses welcome on other unhinged internet doofuses, and we talk about lots of things that we're mostly underqualified to talk about. Hell yeah!
Oh yes.
Today we are blessed with Metal Magic Games over on TikTok and
Hello.
Twitter too. Yeah.
I'm on there, but not like active.
That's the same for me. I've been trying to like break into the Twitter sphere for like the better part of a year, and I think I've just given up. That place is a nightmare.
Surprisingly,
Twitter's not that bad.
I am surprised that I don't have more I don't screenshot more from TikTok for my videos, because there's some hilarious stuff, but I think it's a lot more focused on the rest of the world's wild takes as opposed to Magic the Gathering wild takes.
Yeah. I mean, you pull from Facebook and Reddit and stuff like that. I mean,
Absolutely.
You got enough material there.
I'm never going to run out of material. Literally, today I was looking at stuff and I'm like, I'm screenshotting stuff. This woman, she got all this box of stuff from the Magic Kids Corporation. Magic Kids, where you donate cards and help teach children how to play Magic the Gathering. And this one guy in her comments was like, don't teach them how to play Commander. They should, he just went off on this whole thing, and then this other guy came in, and he's like, listen here, fuckhead. This poor woman, she's like, hey, do you guys have suggestions on things I should maybe keep in mind when teaching children how to play Magic? Meanwhile, in her comments, and let me tell you another thing.
If you teach them Commander, they'll grow up to be Nazis.
They better not learn blue. If there is a single blue mana in this goddamn...
Yeah, Magic fans, it's hard to keep us focused in a non-unhinged way. We're a very interesting community.
In a nice way, it's passion.
So appreciative of the move because I don't have to moderate the Facebook groups right now, so I don't have to see any of that.
Oh yeah.
I moderate one of the two very big Facebook groups.
Yeah.
It's probably the main one is probably one that you moderate. I know I'm mutuals with another guy. I don't know if I can say who he is, but he moderates the one that I steal from or screenshot at least.
Yeah. Yeah, you might not want to put your source out there. They might silence you.
He doesn't send me stuff, but he made a post about something that I saw, and I'm like, hey, thanks for all my content, man.
Yeah.
This is the one that I'm on.
Yeah,
Magic the Gathering group.
That's not the one I take. I don't like saying steal because it's fair use, but the ones that I use for my hilarity.
Internet steal from.
Like we said before
And
we
then
started
the
recording,
other one
you put it out on the internet. It's free for everybody.
Exactly.
is shit that bronze players say.
Bronze players.
Isn't it? Shit that bronze players say.
Is bronze like a arena thing?
Yes, that's the lowest level.
I don't play arena.
And it's not like aha they suck at Magic. It's aha you've got really shitty takes, so you must be bronze.
When I first downloaded Arena, I was so bad at Magic, especially 60 card formats, and I think back then you had to pass the tutorial levels before you could do anything else in the game, and I couldn't get past I think it was the mono white tutorial for like a month. So I just said fuck this game, it's free anyway, and I deleted it.
My old roommate's boyfriend couldn't get it, and he's like, I don't understand how I keep losing. I'm like, bro, It's the tutorial. How do you lose?
I'm like,
It's guided.
I know how to play this game. I've played it for years. What's the difference?
But I think they finally patched it out so you can actually skip the tutorials.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah, you
by
can
but
just
by this
play.
point, I'm so bitter. I don't give a fuck. I'm not playing that game. With their
Yeah, fuck
amazingly.
Magic the Gathering.
You know what? It's Duels of the Planeswalkers. If I
That was
can,
a good game, though.
I have that on in my Xbox Live right now, and I tried playing it, and it is so slow. Not just because it was from the Amonkhet era, but also because it's on the 360, and they have to show all the cool animations that they worked for 5 years to get right.
Well, dude, have you played the PlayStation 1 Magic the Gathering? I think it's called like Battle Mage.
I've seen gameplay of it.
It's a top-down RTS, and it's so fucking bad.
Okay, then if we're talking Magic the Gathering video games, have you seen the Pro Jared video where he talks about Magic the Gathering for the PC?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay, so it's
Is this before or after Pro Jared got canceled?
before.
Who the hell's Pro Jared?
Exactly.
Pro Jared, he's a YouTuber who he makes retro video game content, and he got into it with his wife, and there was a lot of accusations thrown around about him. Like, long story short, I know what his penis looks like, and I shouldn't.
Yeah, I do too.
All right.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Yeah,
Okay.
it's yeah. It was a lot of crazy. Like there was some infidelity stuff. There was potential cucking going on. There was.
I very much missed this internet drama all the way.
Well, the main drama, the thing like the stuff with his ex-wife isn't what really got him canceled. That was just like internet memes. But what really got him canceled is he had a Tumblr account called Sin Jared, where basically like all of his fans could come on and they would trade nudes and talk dirty to each other, and there was some allegations that he wasn't doing anything to age verify the people, and he was doing some things with his fans that he was using that Tumblr to link up with them, and it was a whole thing about him taking advantage of his community and also maybe some minors.
That would do it.
And then he came out with this
messy.
45-minute long video where he was like, "Listen, they lied about their age. Here's the proof," and like showed all the messages. And it sucks when that happens for a whole host of reasons. But like, then it's like, see, women lie all the time. So blah 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 blah, and then it just gets that all going. And
yeah, it had some very unfortunate backlash.
yeah,
Stupid situations.
That's why you use OnlyFans or other age-verified social media sites.
Or here's a thought: don't send your penis to your fans.
yeah.
Make them pay for
There's
it.
My fans. Oh, I was gonna say my fans pay for me to have a penis.
See, that's different, right? Because I do think, and this is such a weird topic for us to get on.
This is
but
not a Magic the Gathering.
It is funny. Half the shit we talk about is not bad, but it's funny. We live in such a complicated era because like I've been in the YouTube sphere since like YouTube started, and like OnlyFans and stuff like that didn't exist back then. So like yeah, if you wanted to exchange nudes with your fans, you had to have like a Tumblr or just like meet them at
You
a
went
con.
to Patreon. Patreon.
Sure, yeah.
And
but
then Patreon kicked us out.
But now it's like we live in a time where you can literally sell pictures of your penis to your fans, and that's okay.
Huh.
But like, I still think that there's like some very clear like no-nos. For example, like I'm gonna be at MagicCon Chicago. You know, if somebody comes up to me and is like, "Hey, I know you from the internet. Nice to meet you," I'm not gonna take them out to a bar and get them drunk and fuck them because like that's weird, right?
But
like,
I think also there's that certain level of like, I say we as content creators, but there is a certain level of like detachment at some point that you have to kind of develop when it comes to the I like that term, that parasocial relationship that you
Yes,
can
yeah.
have with your followers. Now, mind you, I've exploited that to get put on Spotify with 2 creators, but at the same
We're also on iHeartRadio and Apple Music and Amazon.
No, we're not
Music.
on Apple Music yet.
Have we
They
not
still
been
don't
fucking
like us.
approved yet? God damn it!
Yeah, I don't know what's taking forever. They really were slacking over Christmas.
Come on, Steve Jobs!
I don't know about that.
Figure it the fuck out.
Wait, isn't he dead?
What?
Yes.
Steve Jobs is dead,
Steve
right?
Jobs has been dead for many years.
Okay.
How'd he die?
Wait.
Ligma?
Tell me this is a bit though, because it'd be quite funny if you didn't know that Steve Jobs is dead.
Yeah, I know he died of Ligma.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So the parasocial.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't ask him. Please. I know you're a precious little sheltered soul. Don't.
I am so sheltered for having an OnlyFans. I am so sheltered.
Go ahead. Ask him.
I don't know what Ligma is.
Do the thing.
Hold on, Paula. I'm sorry. Ligma balls.
Oh my god.
Fucking got him. Oh, we have only.
Got me.
Listen, this is our dude bro episode. We get one every few months. This is our dude bro episode.
Actually, I got my brother with the mind goblin one.
Yeah.
And he got so mad at that. He's like, he didn't text me for like 2 days.
I think the only one I've ever successfully got anyone with was Bophides. It's like, who's your favorite Greek mythology character? Mine's Bophides.
Mm-hmm.
Bophides nuts.
There you go. That's the one.
Got him. Thank you, darling.
So,
I don't.
welcome to our Magic the Gathering podcast. Quick shout out to
Yeah.
Metal Magic Games. For those just listening, not familiar with our lovely guest here,
It's
He
me.
is a veteran. He is a veteran. Slash, no, actually, you're still in, so I don't
Yes.
think you count as a vet yet.
Active
Um,
duty.
Hey, I get the
Yes.
discounts. I'm good.
Yeah, there you go. So, I don't want to make it too awkward for you, but I do want to, thank you for your service. Shout out to the vets. Shout out to people still serving. It's a really fucked up world we live in these days, but we still need to make sure that we're taking care of our boys and girls abroad.
You're welcome. I.
But yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I always was the same way. Like, especially like on Veterans Day or like Memorial Day when people thank me, and I'm just like, I just want my free Applebee's. I never knew what to say to that. Like, oh, you're very welcome. Now bow to me.
My dad was in Afghanistan, and so and like passed away in Afghanistan. So meanwhile, when people like tell me like thank me for my service, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's
You're like, I'm still here.
yeah.
The big one, the big one is when they thank us on Memorial Day, and I'm just like, you should probably Google what this is about.
yeah. It's
You're thanking the wrong guy, but I mean, I appreciate it. Honestly, a lot of people, they're just trying to be nice. They don't know what they're saying, and I usually just let it go. I'm like, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 10% off my tires.
yeah.
Jesus.
I don't typically do that. There will be some times even where I've been like, I don't if I know certain places will have a discount, I still don't even ask. But if I'm out and about on Veterans Day, there's a reason I'm at CC's, and it's not because it's good food. It's because it's free,
Yeah.
All right, good sidetrack.
All right, so
Excellent.
we are back from technical difficulties. We were talking about the glorious CC's Pizza. God, CC's Pizza sucks so hard. I'm sorry, but we're gonna go on a little rant now about CC's Pizza because, like,
I've never been to a CC's Pizza.
it's like the
You're not-
worst and best thing ever.
Here, listen. It's like most buffets. You don't go to a buffet because it's like, wow, this is high quality dining.
Whoa. It's a pizza buffet?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's there's no like more gimmick than that. It's literally a buffet of pizzas, and as you take your slices, they replenish the slices. And they had a pasta bar and a salad bar, which the pasta bar was fucking fire. I could eat bowls of their fucking swirly noodles all day, but the pizza was just unhinged levels of bad.
No, well, okay. It wasn't like offensively bad, because I'm a Midwest guy. My tolerance for bad food is like very high. So,
That's fair. You guys don't have good food out there. No offense.
we have Culver's. We're really good with cheese. That's about it.
Everything has mayonnaise in it.
It's ranch.
Yeah. No, you got to get to a coast city to get some good food. But yeah, like, and then they would do some like crazy shit. Like there was a mac and cheese pizza.
Yes.
There was a cinnamon bun pizza.
Oh,
that
the-
was like
the
instead of
monkey
sauce,
bread?
it was-
Try that.
Yeah, the monkey bread was actually pretty good. Or the brownies with the cocaine on it.
Yes.
That like these brownies just had like an unhinged amount of powdered sugar on them.
Like-
so you could not you could like there's nothing you could do.
It looks-
You would have to hold your breath and be like,
It
Otherwise
looked
you'd be
like it
covered in
was
powder.
frosted at times. Like it would be like a frosted brownie, and then you breathe a little too hard, and it snows sugar all over your
No,
hands.
not even too hard. If you just function around one of these burritos, your gravitational pull will cause the powder to get everywhere. They were so good though. It was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, well, and it was worth it. Like back then, like way back in the day, back in my day, when CC's was like $4, like $8 if you wanted a soft drink, and you got endless pizza.
Wait, $4 for the all of it?
Yeah, it was one of the few places I could afford in high school. Like it was so good for that dollar amount. It was not good. I can't emphasize that enough. But for $4, it was really good. But then like overnight, it turned to like I went there with my wife back when we first started dating, back when CC's was like starting to die out on the East Coast. And we went there thinking like, oh yeah, we can get like a nice, like between the two of us, $8, we'll share a drink, it'll be great. And it was like $20 a person. And I'm like, nah, you're not going to feed me cardboard bullshit and charge me $20 per person. Get fucked.
Yeah, I don't go to CC's very often, and the only reason I would go to CC's is because they serve free meals on Veterans Day.
Oh yeah? No, you got to get hip to Applebee's, man.
Listen, I've had too many bad experiences at Applebee's.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love Applebee's.
No, that's the Applebee's experience. If you had a good experience at Applebee's, you're probably on meth. Like,
Oh, I'm not on meth. I love Applebee's. With no
that-
meth.
that can't be true. I'm sorry.
No, really. So when I worked at the craft store, I would go to Applebee's. We would go on Saturday nights after we would close, and then we would go get our appetizers and our big fishbowl drinks, and we would play trivia. Because a trivia guy came in, and that was fun.
I mean, that sounds very wholesome and all, but like,
It was.
it's still an Applebee's, man.
Yeah.
No, she did.
Oh, wow.
She did desync for a minute. I saw it too.
Okay.
You have some spikes going on, but that's fine. It'll work out. It is worse for us than it is for the recording.
Tell your
Okay.
man to stop watching porn while we're recording.
Yeah, come on.
He doesn't. He only watches porn while I'm making porn live.
All right.
the-
I mean,
All right.
On joystick, he watches. He moderates my joystick channel.
that doesn't
So,
count. That's work.
while
It's
I'm doing-
it's not porn if it's work.
I don't think that's how that works.
Nope. That's how it works. That's how I justify doing it. I mean, what?
Yeah.
It's
sure.
Cool.
It's not porn if you're getting paid for it. It's not cheating if it's gay.
It's
Well-
literally porn if you're getting paid for it.
No, it's porn if you're watching it. If you're doing it, you're working.
That's a side hustle.
Yeah.
A side hustle.
Yeah. It's not cheating if you're getting paid for it. All right. Are we
That's
good?
true.
Are we back? Can we get
We
back
can
on
be
track?
back. I'll
Okay.
I'll figure this out. It's
All
fine.
right.
Okay.
So we are back from technical difficulties round 2. Or actually technically this would be round 3.
All right.
Okay. So I do kind of want to circle back to what we were talking about at the top of the episode. Or maybe it was before the recording. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
You can keep this in. But so lately there has been a weird influx, at least on TikTok. I've seen a little bit of it on Twitter. It happens every day on Facebook and Reddit because those are cesspools.
Yeah.
But TikTok, it's been a weird insurgence of sweaty dudes harassing women on in the Magic sphere. It happened a pretty big profile one yesterday that attracted a lot of attention. There was one that happened right before that. There was one like a few weeks ago, and then I know 5 or 6 months ago I got into it with a guy that was saying some pretty harassment-y things on a woman creator's page, and it's just wild. Like I don't.
Here's the thing that is so disheartening for me is that I only know of the one that we know that I like commented on your thing or like liked your post. It sucks that it happens so much that I am like, are you talking about that one? Because I also think I know of like 2 or 3 other ones.
Yeah. So the most recent one, the one that happened yesterday, was Queen Honey had posted she was responding to an ad where the ad was like, I'm buying all this Magic stuff for my boyfriend, and she was frustrated because she was like, this is poor representation of women in the Magic community. Why can't she be buying it for herself? Why can't the ads be targeted to women? Why does it have to be targeted to women buying stuff for their boyfriends? Pretty valid complaint.
Yeah.
And somebody's response was, oh, you play Magic? Pics of you and me at a date at the LGS, or it didn't happen. And it's just like listen, I get it. Dude thought he was funny. Dude was trying to make a joke. He immediately got called out by the creator and another woman, basically trying to be a little respectful and being like, hey, maybe you shouldn't make jokes like this on a video where we're talking about misogyny. And he just kept doubling down and this, that, and the other. And then we all kind of came to their aid and kind of jumped in. And like as late as 1 a.m. this morning, the dude was still doubling down on his points. And it's just like, like I said, that's just in the last like month or two. That's the 3rd example I can think of.
So I think with a lot of these times where, and it's not just at this point that I want to get to is it's not just with this one specific instance for this one specific guy doubling down and whatnot, right? You see tons of different creators. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that one gal who's like, if you don't have the budget to raise 5 kids, then you're bad with money. Like,
oh yeah, that's it's a really mainstream thing. There's a girl that's being dragged because she's saying that people are bad with money, and that's like staying home or being a stay-at-home wife is a privilege, or no, it's a right, not a privilege.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's crazy. It's very mainstream. It's very mainstream TikTok drama.
But like with that, she made a follow-up and she's like, I guess I assert a certain demographic of people. And I'm like, oh no. So my point is, when we get to that point where we are clearly in the wrong about something, if you don't get that moment of like, hey, you know what, you're right, let me take a step back, let me delete my comment, let me private my video, not even make an apology, like a full-blown like, I didn't think I'd have to make this video, but just a quick like, hey, I was thought a certain kind of way and I said X, Y, and Z and I came off as whatever. If it doesn't get to that point very quickly, like within a couple hours or so, that person's never gonna view them as like a learning opportunity. They're only gonna see it as now I'm getting attacked, so now I have to defend myself.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because that is I think, the go-to response for a lot of dudes that find themselves in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
And like, here's the thing, and here's my message to my fellow men of the Magic the Gathering community and male presenting folk as well. It's not that hard to swallow your pride for 2 seconds and just move on. Like, I had a situation about a year ago where it wasn't even really in the Magic sphere. It was a mutual of mine as a stand-up comedian. She posted some video. I made a comment on it. I don't even remember what my comment was because I thought it was that harmless. I thought I was like agreeing with them, and then they came back and they were like, "Hey, your comment is very rude and like mansplaining, and like I really don't need you to mansplain this topic to me." And do you know what I did?
Deleted it.
I said, "You're right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
Whoa.
My bad." And did I get roasted on the internet? Did I get dragged? Did I get canceled? No. The person said, "Hey, I appreciate your apology," and we're still friends to this day. Like, it's really not that hard when somebody you have directly addresses you back and says, you're off kilter for this. You know, you're out of pocket. Just say okay. Like, it's really not that hard. Like, we're dudes. We have internalized misogyny. Society has built us this way since the day we were born. We live in a patriarchal society. We can't instantly deprogram our straight male brains, but we can recognize that that's a thing, and when we're called out on it, be like, "Oh yeah, no, you're probably right. Okay, my bad."
And I'll catch myself laughing like a little too hard at certain jokes, or like I'll notice like on my feed or whatever, I'll see videos where people are like calling out the villain of the day, and I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, and whatnot.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, it's a tough topic to touch on, because also like
It's okay.
also, yeah, I want
It's okay.
to address the elephant in the room, that we're talking about misogyny, and it's two straight white dudes while there's a woman sitting right next to us being quiet and not,
It's all right.
you know.
Just listening. Just listening, you guys.
So
Yeah.
Talk
what
about
were-
your misogyny. You're doing good. You're doing good. Get it out there.
So
Proud of you.
Yeah. What were your thoughts then, if you saw all this?
I only saw a little bit because I'm in the middle of moving. That's why everything looks like shit behind me.
I can update you, because I just pulled up the other incident from 2 days ago.
So I didn't know it was an advertisement. So now that I know that it was an advertisement that she was responding to, I thought it was just a person, right? Because I only saw like the little stitch of it.
Well, it's a TikTok shop ad or one of those things. It's not like a full on like branded posted by a company type thing.
Okay.
But it was somebody shilling products, and they were doing it from a standpoint of, this is for my boyfriend.
Right. Yeah. Okay. TikTok shop is rough, right? Because we're just going to assume that it's not genuine, right?
Probably.
I thought that it was a genuine other person, like a real person, buying the deck box.
Let me
that's
look
why
into it
when I
before
first saw it.
Yeah, before we officially drag an innocent person in an attempt to help.
But again,
somebody,
I am in the middle of moving, so I am very, very light on the social media drama of the week.
Okay,
right?
yeah, so it is an ad, because the creator in question even prefaces with some text on the screen, "This is not meant to be towards this company, just a commentary on the gaming community as a whole." So yes,
Gotcha.
the thing they were responding to was an ad for like deck boxes and stuff.
All right. Since it's an ad, then yeah, no. If it was a lady doing the ad, then she could have very much been like, "Hey, look, I found these new cool deck boxes, and look how fucking cute they are. They're so cute. I love them because X, Y, and Z."
Yeah.
And a good example of this working in the past week is Peachy Pop has been showing off her holographic heart inner sleeves. And a whole bunch of people now have went out and bought those holographic heart inner sleeves to put into their decks. because she was being genuine about how cute they are and how girly pop they are, and
Yeah.
that hit the target audience of that product within the Magic community.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to misrepresent their point or talk for them, so I'll just say, like, what I took away from the video is, sure, if it's an ad, advertise however you want, but I think they were just more frustrated with, because they're part of the TikTok group called She EDH, which their whole mission statement is trying to spread awareness of the fact that, hey, there's women who play this game. It's not just a bunch of sweaty neck-bearded dudes. And to be like working that hard towards spreading that message, and then you get an ad that is very much like, hey ladies, buy this for your boyfriends. I can see how, like, that's a frustrating representation of your gender, because it's like, why can't we get ads that are like, hey ladies, buy this for yourself, or hey men, buy this for your girlfriends?
I've never seen a Magic the Gathering. I've never seen a Magic the Gathering ad that is targeted for me.
Exactly.
And even if it was
just
just
thing that I can get to something that is targeted for me would be the Cats and Dogs deck that just came out,
Sold out in fucking 6 hours.
which is complete bullshit. The different complaint story, and
we'll pivot into that because I have a lot to say.
There was the Chibi Planeswalkers that was kind of cute, and then like the Cute to Brute, and that's like the only femme-ish, femme-leaning Magic focused thing that I have seen.
Well, and it's always been frustrating to me, and I'll get this next point out in Metal. You look like you got some things to say. You are the guest, after all. we have a tendency to hog our own podcast.
no, that's good though.
But yeah, so like I think one thing that's always been frustrating for me this past year, and this just goes into like so many other issues that I've been having with Wizards and the Magic the Gathering community, is that they have a whole ass ambassador program. They have a whole ass ambassador program. And I was so
Whole ass.
Right, and I was happy for Wizards when that ambassador program first came out, because I saw what they did with the representation of who they chose, and I was all for it. They chose so many POC creators. They chose creators that were LGBTQ+, trans, gay, lots of women, lots of representation, great stuff. And they have just done nothing with that.
Yeah,
they're not doing ads using them. Like, they only just, and I mean just like a week ago, started using their ambassadors for the fucking arena ads. Because up until now, all the arena ads on TikTok have been random influencers that don't play Magic.
Yeah.
And they even say at the start of the video, I don't play this game, or I played this game when I was a kid and now it's free, when the app's been out for like 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
And it's like, why bring in all of this beautiful, great representation to not fucking do anything with it?
Use it.
And that's the other crazy thing is, I think if I was in charge of the ambassador program,
Oh.
I would have them push out, like, first off, they got sent a ludicrous amount of product, right? Product that if it was in the mainstream audience's hands, there would be more of it, so it would cost less. Also, I would have some sort of incentive I would use them more as social media personalities, right? Look at any sort of sponsored content on like YouTube or anything else, right? Where they get coupon codes, where if you use code Metal Magic Games,
Yep.
you get 10% off your
affiliate
purchase.
programs.
Yes, affiliate programs. If they did that, if they did have them in Magic the Gathering ads, that's another thing. I think maybe I've seen just a couple of creators, and I've barely even seen any advertisement. And that also kind of goes into another point about how, because of how Wizards handled the holidays last year, nobody really wants to be like, I'm still an ambassador, you guys. Like,
Yeah.
and it sucks because it makes me still so mad, because not only are they messing obviously, first and foremost, the people that got fucked the hardest from that was the employees who lost their jobs. Then the level below that would be like all the ambassadors and local game stores are now fucked because of that. Because now people are going to be less likely to want to purchase cards, especially from local game stores where they already have to have in some places have to have a markup. And then if you take that even lower, it obviously fucks with the regular average Joe who wants to purchase cards.
Yeah.
And kind of what you were saying about the cats and dogs thing, which is kind of sort of related to the cats and dogs, maybe not specifically. I think more so the secondary market and how just crazy it is right now. I think one of the big things that I have an issue with is whale purchases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this YouTuber I watch a lot, Pay Money Wubby. Do you guys know who that is?
I don't even know that I could repeat that name. Pay Money Wubby?
Yes.
Pay money,
hey, I got it.
Wubby.
Yeah.
Pay Money Wubby.
Yes.
Yay.
So he's a Twitcher and he uploads his stuff onto YouTube.
Is that what we
is
call
that what
them,
people who
Twitchers?
stream on Twitch is called? No.
Listen,
Honestly, well,
I was at the grocery store earlier today. I wanted to bring up this
Did you
point, and
see
I'm
a
like,
Twitcher?
what's a funny way that I can talk about somebody from Twitch? Twitch.
honestly, I've always wondered, like, what are we supposed to call Twitch streamers? Because Twitch streamer, like, you've got YouTuber, you've got TikToker, Twitter's another one. What do we call Xers? X influencers? Like,
if it's exclusively to Twitter, idiots.
hey, shots fired. To all of our Twitter
think
listeners,
Twitchers are good.
I love you. Please keep listening, all 4 of you.
But one of his
Twitter
big
sucks, though.
things is that he It does, absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the big things though is he ordered the new set, the not Karlov Minor, but Dominaire, or not Dominaire,
Oh,
Ravnica
Ravnica
Remastered.
Ravnica Remastered. Yeah.
He ordered like 3 boxes, or excuse me, crates
Cases.
of collector
Cases.
booster cases. Yes.
Yeah.
3 cases full of collector booster boxes and opened them all up on stream. I'm like, hey, they're already like $28 or whatever at a regular per pack at big box stores. So while he's kind of a outlier because I've watched his content, I can tell that does have a genuine passion for the game. He's authentic, and which I'm not saying it gives him a pass on that kind of aspect, but it does, I guess, make it easier to justify it in my head of why I'm watching it in the first place, if that makes sense. It's because he is authentic about it. He's not like Logan Paul, where it very clearly he doesn't give a shit about Pokemon. Well, he does give a shit about Magic. But what I'm getting at is
It's like a Post Malone type. Like,
yeah.
I don't mind that Post Malone blew $2.6 million on a card because he also plays the game with the Professor and Aaron Hansen and stuff. Yeah. No, I get it. Makes sense.
And yet, so I think when it comes to the secondary market in regards to that, those whale purchases in your video where you talked about how one seller was selling 72 of them for double the price of what there's the cats and dogs. I'm seeing that. I'm like, we're all kind of on the same page. I'm thinking faster than my words can go.
No,
so.
you're good. You're good, man. Seriously, you're good. Like, honestly, like the thing that bugged me the most about that is, so I understand that the when people get frustrated with whale purchasers, but at the same time, my thing is, like, if I was a millionaire, I'd do the same thing. But where I don't like it is the scalper bullshit. Like, if you're buying a product that is readily available to everyone else, so like the collector's boosters, no matter how many cases this guy buys, I can still go to Target and find a pack. I'm okay with it. Buy them all up, have some fun, waste your money, lose your money, do what you got to do. As long as I can get the product as well.
Mm-hmm.
What I hated about Raining Cats and Dogs, and it's what I hated about Lorcana, which is a whole nother thing, but it's why I fell out of that game faster than I could start, is that when these things are not readily accessible and being bought up by the scalpers and the Mega Million collectors, well, then it's like, what are we doing here, right? Like, Raining Cats and Dogs was supposed to be a fun product for the fans, kind of a throwback to an old school Commander, because nobody really runs Ren and Siri much anymore, and so it was a fun, like, hey, let's revitalize this thing. It's fun new art. It's great stuff. I was kind of excited for it, like, I say kind of because I don't buy Wizards of the Coast products, but it was nice to see the first Commander I ever built getting a secret layer treatment. I was like, this is awesome. And then I found out that, like, some people fucking didn't even make it to their lunch breaks at work before it was all gone. And it was just like, to me, the frustrating thing about it is these companies like Ravensburger and Wizards of the Coast, they have the means to prevent this shit, but they don't care to because it capitalizes on FOMO, right? I guarantee one of the main reasons that deck sold out as fast as it did and as hard as it did was because they announced it was only going to be available for until it's gone, and then that's it. You'll never be able to get this product again. And so scalpers went cha-ching, and not even just scalpers, but people who, and I've gotten in some heat for talking about this before, but I will stick to this point till the day I die. If you are not financially stable, stop buying expensive cardboard. It's not the investment you think it is. It's not going to fix your financial situations. It's not going to make you happy for more than an hour. But the thing is, when they capitalize on these FOMO situations, they're getting people who, like, maybe didn't actually have $150 to spend. Like, they have the money, but they don't actually have that money, whether it's a credit card, whether it's that was their food for the week, whether it's like, oh, I'll just let my account overdraft so I can get this deck of shiny cardboard. Whereas, like, if it were just a normally released product, it's easier to fight back the FOMO. Like, I've personally never really been a fan of secret layers in general because
I want to say I agree, and 9 times out of 10 I agree with you. But then I saw the Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer Orcs, and I'm like, shit! Capitalism, you got me again. Fuck you, Reagan.
I like the secret layers because they give new, unique artworks. I just like looking at the art, and I can do that online, so I don't really need the cards. And if I really, really, really want the card, then I'll buy the single.
Listen, to clarify, I own a lot of secret layers. I love them too. Some of them are really cool. I bought the Street Fighter ones. If they do more Godzilla ones, I did the Godzilla lands back when they came out. I love the idea of a secret layer. I don't like the execution of it. And I don't necessarily have a better solution for it, but it's like, I see these people just buying these expensive pieces of cardboard when they can't afford it. And it's all because they're told you won't be able to get it ever again. It's FOMO marketing. And, like, I understand that any collectible is going to be like that. Sets are kind of like that when you think about it, because, like, they come and they go, but I don't know. It's and like I said, I don't have a solution for it, but the Raining Cats and Dogs one was especially bad. Having it available, a batch of decks, and it's gone when it's gone, and, like, also, like you pointed out, and like I found on fucking eBay, guy, I think the last time I looked at it, that seller that sold 72, he's up to like 110. Oof. So I know that technically speaking, they had, like, you can only buy 6 of these. But that's what, per email account? How hard is it to make an email account? And if you're a scalper whose entire business is buying and selling trading cards, then, like, people had multiple.
You're gonna get
You're
inventory.
already set up,
right? And if you don't, as a company, if you don't have a way to fight back the scalpers, don't do FOMO marketing, because you're just making the problem worse.
And like what you said earlier, they know, and that's why they do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at the I mean, and this product was bad for 1,000 reasons, but the 30th anniversary cards.
Ugh.
Now, again,
Oh my god.
that product was bad for 1,000 reasons. But let's pretend it was a good product. Okay, let's pretend it came out for
Okay.
pretend it came out for $30.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm imagining the $1,000 proxies.
Right.
Is...
No. We're in another universe. Miles Morales just opened up a portal. We're in the Spider-Verse, and we're in a different universe where that product cost $30, and they're actually playable. They're legit reprints. Okay. Why is it that a product that is supposed to be celebrating your 30th anniversary was only available until they were sold out? Versus Konami just had their 25th anniversary, I think it was, I might be off with the year, for Yu-Gi-Oh! And they released a very similar product. It's a box. It comes with the 3 Egyptian god cards, three
Oh yeah, I saw that.
three like very popular cards like Blue Eyes, White Dragon, Red Eyes, Black Dragon, Dark Magician, and then it came with a bunch of vintage packs from the first 6 sets. Okay,
Were those packs reprints, or was it
yes.
Okay.
They are reprints, but they're playable. So,
So
Right.
fake old
Well,
packs.
yes,
technically,
they're not proxies. They are playable.
What
And
I mean
so-
by
and-
that is, I can go to a game store, purchase a Magic Ruler pack from Yu-Gi-Oh, and I can put it in and play it in a competitive. Well, it won't do well, but that's the one thing I like about Yu-Gi-Oh. But
with Yu-Gi-Oh, there's still a handful of cards from the original sets that are still viable.
Jinzo.
And so, you know what? I'm not a big Yu-Gi-Oh guy. I'm not gonna pretend like I know the names.
I used to
But-
be, but
I
I
played
hear you.
competitively when I was a kid. Yeah, yeah. But the point is, even if they're not viable, right? Even if they're just collectible pieces, this was to celebrate their 25th anniversary. Okay, that product cost $30, and you can still buy it on shelves right now.
yeah,
You can still go out to a Target, and if you get lucky enough, there's one sitting there. This product was readily available all year because it's a celebratory product. Versus Magic's 30th anniversary cost $1,000, was not playable, and sold out in the first hour. Well, allegedly, it,
Yeah.
there was some speculation that they actually just pulled it down because it was doing really bad. But the point is that there's just, in my opinion, there's just no reason to do it this way. And if we're doing print on demand type things, they can just you get in a queue, and on the 30th on the last day of every month, they release all the orders, and then they redo it, right? Or something. Again, I don't have the
that
greatest
clothing companies
solutions.
can do and have do, which is a very common business model for a lot of clothing wear.
Yeah. Or just, I mean, truly, just don't do single drop releases for a game that is already riddled with scalpers and whale purchasers. Even if we want to compromise, and I'll say fine, the 30-day window is enough time. That gives everyone 2 paychecks to make irresponsible decisions. Fine. I'll settle on the 30-day window, but a 1-day drop like that, yeah, of course it sold out in 6 hours. I'm surprised it took 6 hours. And I think the only reason it took 6 hours was the waiting queues. Because people were saying that they waited in line for an hour and a half or more to get their deck released to them.
Yeah.
So
That's silly.
So I wanted
That is
to
silly.
ask you guys a question. I know with these podcasts,
no.
the guest doesn't ask the questions, but I'm mixing it up. So
6 inches.
Okay, good for you, man.
It varies. I can go from 5 inches up to about, I don't know, how much is this, 12? So
God.
It's a lot.
All right, now that we've made you
No,
very
no.
it also
uncomfortable.
comes in it is also pink, and the big one's pink and blue, like cotton candy.
We're trying to get Bad Dragon to sponsor the podcast. All right, now that you're nice and uncomfortable.
So Bad Dragon, everybody, hit them up. Try to
No,
get.
we don't want
let's
bad
get us some-
we don't want bad dragon.
Oh, okay. All right. You're the one in the industry. You probably know better than I do. I say probably. All right. Again, now that we've made this very uncomfortable, go ahead with your question.
So, what is your
Okay, so-
question? Yes, go ahead.
So a couple years ago, when I first moved to where I'm living now, I started this series where I was looking for my new local game store. It was a really big deal to me where I had a really bad experience at a local game store and I wanted to find a new one. Luckily for me there were enough in my area to where I can make it a series. What do you guys look for in a local game store?
I have a lot to say on this, so I will let you go first if you have something.
Oh, do you? Okay. So,
ladies first, my lady.
I don't know if you know. Oh, thanks. Tip your fedora, good sir. I don't know if you know this or not, Metal, but I used to travel the country going to Star City game events. And
I did not.
altars. So, yeah, I was a altarist at the Star City events and traveled the country. So I've been to a game store or two back in the day. The coolest game store that I went to was up in Connecticut, I believe, maybe Massachusetts. I don't know. They had nice, thick wooden tables, and on Friday nights, the game store owner would bring a grill and do hot dogs for F&M, which was really cool.
I like
But
that.
what I would like in my local game store is 2 bathrooms. I would like a
2 bathrooms?
male bathroom. Yes. And if they don't have the space for a non-male bathroom, I check to see if there are feminine products in the bathroom and how clean it is. That is what is up on the higher levels of my hierarchy of needs of a game store. The other is a good selection of singles and a nice play area. So if you have a really shitty play area and it's not comfortable, then you're not going to want to keep people in there.
Yeah, that's one of those things. So I had my list of things that I look for in a game store. I never considered bathrooms like that. So that's actually a really good point.
I was thinking the same thing as like a straight dude. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's
there's an
actual thing
alleyway
to care
behind
about.
there. I don't need a bathroom.
Yeah, I'll piss in a Mountain Dew can mid game. I don't give a shit. Like,
No,
No,
we would
those
like clean bathrooms, please.
those are good. Yeah, those are good points.
Okay. What about you?
For me, it really, like, there's one thing that trumps everything else. Like, I have little things that like a comfortable play area is fine, but truth be told, I'll settle for some fucking fold-up chairs and a fold-up table if that's what we got. For me, the big thing that, like, it's the very first thing I look at when I go into LGSs, I look at their prices. And not so much because I'm trying to find, like, the cheapest deal, but I'm trying to decipher real fast. Are you a scalper with a storefront, or are you an actual legitimate business trying to do this the right way, right? If I'm seeing secret
Have
layers...
you been in a lot of stores that have like really high prices?
Yes. It's so in my area, without revealing where I live, it's very bad. It's like 70-30. Most of the game stores are scalpers with storefronts. And so I live in a metropolitan-esque area, so it's not uncommon to drive 45 minutes wherever you go. So when you think
they don't need you to.
Exactly. But when you think, for me, all the game stores, I'm saying within an hour of every direction, there's probably 20 or 30. And about 15 to 20
There
of them...
are a lot of game stores in your area.
Yeah, and about 20 to 30 of
But
them are all trash. So there was one in particular.
So the ones that I went to in your area was... Like, I've only found, like, I knew the few that I would want to go to. Like, I didn't actually really explore down in your area.
So I've trying to find, like, my store. I've gone to a lot, And I still actually I found out recently because I joined like an East Coast like Twitter group. There's like 10 that I've never even heard of. So I still have
too.
more.
I'm in there too.
Yeah. I still have more to explore. But of the ones I've gone to, one of the worst ones I've been to, and I won't be a dick and call out their business, but it's in a town that I used to live in, about 45 minutes north or south of where I live now. And good play area, good people, but it was around the time of the Pokemon 25th anniversary or 30th, whatever their recent celebrations thing was. I think it was 25. And like I would go to Target to try to find the ETBs, which is the like bundle boxes for you Magic players, and you couldn't find them anywhere. And then one day I went, because I was working across the street from a Target, I went in there to shoot my shot and try to find a pack, and I saw the owner of the LGS with a cart with like 30 of them. Ooh. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? And then I go to his store because I'm like, okay, he's gonna mark them up, but like, whatever. I'll pay an extra $10 to support a local business.
How much?
Double, $80 plus for a product. And when I confronted him, I was like, hey man, I can, like, this is literally twice what it was across the street at the Target. And he said to me, if you can find it cheaper on Facebook Marketplace, by all means buy it from them. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Ooh.
You're not competing with Facebook Marketplace. You're a fucking store. Like, I know they have distributors too, because I know people that work there. So they got their own copies to sell from the distributors, then went out and emptied out the public stores to then double the price at their LGS.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, no, you're a shitty, terrible person who's ruining this hobby. I don't want to buy from you. I don't want to play at your store. I don't want to support you.
Damn.
And you see it sometimes with singles too. Singles, it's a little harder for them to do it because things like TCG Player exist. Mm-hmm. But they bank, these bad stores bank on people not doing their research. And like that very same store, I remember going in there and seeing like it was a printing of Demonic Tutor, one of the old like white border ones, or Demonic Tutor, which is not a cheap card, but it's not a fucking Black Lotus.
Right.
Depending on which set it's from, you can get a white border Demonic Tutor for between $30 and $50. They had them for $150. And again, it was like, you can't be serious. And when I said something to one of the employees, I was like, you guys can't honestly think that's going to sell. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, we've sold 3. And I said, okay, so you guys are just shameless assholes. I can't support this. So get off my high horse for 2 seconds. That's the main thing. That's the number one thing when I walk into an LGS. I don't care if it smells like musk. I don't care if there's nobody in there. I don't care if the chairs look like they're from the Victorian era. First thing I do is walk up to the counter and start looking at prices and go, who am I dealing with? Mm-hmm. What kind of business am I supporting?
Well, I would like to say that usually scummy people don't think about having the second bathroom. So
actually, one of the nicest LGSs I've been to had the scummy prices. They had like real nice, but like, so that's.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've been to two LGSs that one of them had like, I felt like I was in a mansion when you go in the bathroom, like marble countertops and like a little water fountain in the corner, deodorant for you to borrow. Like it was nice, but I hate that place, so I'll never go back there. But so like, I guess my point is like where I live now, I live in a small town part of my state. And I have an LGS about 2 minutes up the road, and they don't have the greatest setup. It's a very like long, skinny store. It reminds me of like a bodega in New York. It's not very spacious. You're very elbow to elbow. Their chairs are super uncomfortable, especially for us fat dudes. But they are legitimately a ma and pa. Like it is a married couple who used to work at another LGS. That owner passed away. They decided, well, hey, there's a vacancy in the area. Let's open our own little business. And their prices are, they usually go a couple bucks below TCG. And if you call them out on it, because like they don't always update their prices, and they literally advertise that like, hey, if you see this price lower anywhere else, let us know, and we'll match it. And that's where I go for my singles. Like I try to avoid TCG Player if they have the card. because even if it's, and I've told them before, I'm like, even if you go $1 or $2 higher, your business practices are so good, I'll give you the extra couple bucks. I want to buy Demonic Tutor from you,
Right.
not dickhead down the street charging $150 or random faceless guy on TCG Player who I don't know what his deal is ethically, right? And when I support these like the businesses like down the street, they're hoping to upgrade their tables, they're hoping to upgrade their bathroom and stuff like that. So like, although I do like those things, and it definitely is like something I'm like, ooh, this place was very nice. To me, their ethics and their pricing is far more important. And then I guess the other thing that I look for, and this might sound like pandering, but I swear I'm being genuine. If I walk into an LGS and it is nothing but middle-aged, sweaty white dudes, I'm very likely to try to find another place, because I don't know. I like a little diversity in my community. I don't like the same 8 dudes talking about the good old days of Magic. So
Yeah.
I like talking about the good old days of Magic.
Commander's killing Magic.
yeah.
Commander is killing Magic.
Well, plus it's also like, just to tie into what we were talking about earlier, what I've learned a lot from listening to women in the community is that if you go somewhere and there's no women there, that might be a red flag. There might be a reason there's no women there. There could be a coincidence that there's just no women in the area.
There's your sign.
Right. Like, it could be that
You
there's
get
no
some
women in the
Jeff
area.
Foxworthy in here.
Yeah. But in the case of some LGSs, it probably smells really bad in there. Or they probably make misogynistic jokes or things like that. And then it's like, yeah, so if I go to a Commander night and it's 8 middle-aged white dudes, I'm like, why though?
Yeah.
You know?
There's this one
Where's
guy
the
at the
rest
one that
of
I
ya?
go to a lot. He's good. He's got the his playmat is, the anime girl with big titties, and like I'm like, oh,
There's always one. There's always one.
and sure enough,
Man,
he
I dress up like
lied
an
about
anime
his
girl
power
with big
level.
titties. And I still don't take that to the LGS.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's some edgelords, and the Magic the Gathering community is full. I mean, any nerd space is full of it, but it's edgelords that don't understand that, like, yeah, Metal, you're in the military. I'm a veteran. I think you and I can both confirm that when you're in the field for some training, the level of humor there is not the same as if you were to go to your niece's ballet recital. It's not the same type of humor. Some people don't know how to turn that off.
Yes.
They get a laugh. They get a laugh in one circle, and they go, "I'm the funniest motherfucker alive," and they take that joke on tour, and they take it everywhere, and they don't realize that joke is not for everyone. Don't tell it to other people.
And that's another thing that goes into my Winding the Gathering series. Is
Love that series.
Thank you. It's my pride and joy.
Even though I know you hate doing it.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I get it.
I love the responses I get from it, and I love that. I'm pretty lucky that I've been able to have a lot of mostly like-minded people where we're all kind of like, yeah, sweaty gamer nerds are going to be sweaty gamer nerds, and it's okay to at least just poke fun at them. Not like, this is where the guy lives, let's go Ted Kaczynski him. But
we're not raising pitchforks, we're just pointing and laughing.
Exactly. And I think that's something that we need to not do more of, not like bully more, but like
you heard it here, folks. Metal Magic
Bully
game,
more.
pro bullying.
I just
No.
mean
Honestly though, yeah, like a little bit of bullying for bad people is fair.
Just a sprinkle.
That's one
Just a
thing
little
that
bit.
you got to just have at least some sort of self-awareness. Like, come on, man, look around you. Where are you right now?
Yeah. See, that's why, like, typically, I've sort of become known at this point for, like, I don't take shit in my comments. If you come at me sideways, I'm going to match your energy, and I'm probably going to do it better than you, because I'm a very jaded individual, and I'm funnier than you are. But typically, I try to assess the situation and I go, do they even know they're being an asshole?
Mm-hmm.
And if I feel like there's even a chance they don't, I give them a window of opportunity. I say like, hey man, I know you probably didn't mean it, but your comment is really fucking rude and you should rethink that. And then if they continue to double down, then I'm like, oh buddy, it's game time. You're giving me content. This is fantastic.
Here we go. Let's have some
So,
fun.
speaking of,
Hell yeah.
so we were kind of tiptoeing around this before we started recording.
Fuck tiptoeing. Let's step on it. What's up?
I made this video. It was this video. To this day, I'm mad that I deleted it because it was attracting too much of the wrong type of attention. And I just wasn't, I was living in a hotel room at this point. So I wasn't really like in the mental space to really handle this kind of energy. But it was this 5-minute long video where I wrote out an essay and read it where it was about, I called it Time Walk, the generational gap between Magic the Gathering players, and how a lot of nerds are like, oh, this is different. This isn't how I was meant to be. And because it is more diverse now and it's by design, that it's a good thing. Like back in the day, South Park, before South Park even did the Magic the Gathering episode, they back in the 90s, South Park, they had an ad like, this episode was brought to you by Magic the Gathering, the world's premier trading card game. So back then, that the stereotypical guys who look like Doggo, were sorry.
No, it's cool. I'm a cardboard cutout of like typical white guy. I get
And I
it.
think that's why I think that's why you calling it out works so well, is because like, hey, this guy looks like he's one of us. What is it? Am I like that?
Quick side tangent. People get way too comfortable with me sometimes, and I think a lot of the comments I get that I kick back at, they think I'm going to be in on it. They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this guy'll get it. Yeah, fuck women." It's like, no, guy, wrong, wrong. Anyway, go ahead.
Wrong
continue.
one.
So I wrote this article, and I was really proud of it, and I read it out, and this guy responded to me, and he said something along the lines. I'm gonna take 2 seconds and pull it up because I screenshotted it. And it's in my backlog of like, if I'm really in a bad mood and I really want to, if he pops up again, I'll call him out on it. But just give me 2 seconds.
I love that. Honestly, like some of the people that I've gone in on TikTok, I almost feel bad for them because if you catch me in the right mood, like I said, I swear to God, these unhinged, faceless profiles that come in our comment sections. They don't realize I'm more clever than they are. I'm funnier than they are. I'm way meaner than they are. I've got a lot of fucking trauma to draw
somebody
on. Like,
who was like, I was talking about something, right? And vaguely hinted at OnlyFans, right? I can't do it directly on TikTok, so it was vaguely hinted at. And they called me lazy and a bad mother because of it. And I was like, oh yeah, totally lazy because I spend all of this time doing my photos and my advertisement and my photo editing and, marketing and admin stuff. Very lazy. Oh, bad mother. Right. Yeah. We cook for the kid every night. We read to her. Kids got everything that they need. Kid goes to school. Kid loves school. Kid reads at a 3rd grade level, even though she's younger than that.
Also,
bad mother. Right. Got it. Yep.
You found a way to make money and stay home with the kid. Like that's good mother.
And on top of all of that, if any of these guys have such a problem with you doing it, give you money, and then you won't have to do it.
Also, 9 times out of 10, and I think you could probably vouch for this, 9 times out of 10, the people going at you are probably in your OnlyFans watching anyway.
And then got caught.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Dude, okay, after,
So,
remind me about getting caught.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No.
No, after. Remind
All right.
me after.
Metal,
We're
you
done.
finish your thing, and then we'll circle back to this because I want to hear about that.
So he said, imagine having your LGBT safe space invaded by literal Nazis, and then people like Metal support pushing you out. And I was like, what? And so I'm like, hey, I just want everyone to be cool to each other, and Nazis aren't cool, period. He says, I mean, when hate is excluded, except against Trump supporters, Christians, and Trump himself. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Okay.
Oh,
I know,
you have to be tolerant of the
You know
intolerant?
who-
Yeah, okay, no, fuck off.
for starters, I think I know this situation, and I think
Yes.
I know.
Yes,
I
you
think
probably
I know
do.
who you're talking about. But anyway,
He said, I responded, hate should always be excluded. But when one side hates your politics or religion and the other side hates who you are as a person, it's not even. He responded to tell me that because I was okay with pirates being in Magic the Gathering and not Nazis, that I'm worse than Nazis because pirates rape people.
Are we talking about, like,
yeah.
internet pirates or, like
No, like Admiral
ocean
Beckett Brass.
pirates?
Yes.
Yes.
Like Magic
Like,
the Gathering
The
pirates?
recent set.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
God. Okay.
I didn't even respond at that point. I was like, okay. It made me furious. I was
Were
like,
you under a different account during all this drama?
no.
Okay.
It was the same account. You probably watched that video. What I ended up doing though was I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let. Then I looked through his videos. At one point, somebody said, "Hey, other than using religion, the classic thing that you say to Christians, hey, without using the Bible, why are gay people bad, right?" And he's like, "Because gay men get fucked in the ass, it's dangerous to their health."
I definitely remember this guy. Yeah.
Okay. So after I saw
Watch
that,
out,
and
doggo.
then
It's
that,
dangerous to your health.
Hey, you know what? Listen. You want to get religious for a second? God, the Bible says, listen, go with me on this train of thought. The Bible says that the human body is intelligent design, right?
Mm-hmm.
God made us in his image, okay? Why do men have a prostate but women don't? And why does the prostate, when stimulated, provide sexual pleasure on a higher level than your actual penis? Why did God put a sex organ in my butt if not to be pegged? The Bible condones
Why-
pegging. That is a fact. Anyway, go ahead.
Why is it in the booty hole?
last thing I saw of this guy, he he made a video where he said he's like, Scott Pilgrim did nothing wrong. Now, I don't know if you know this, guys. Scott Pilgrim definitely did more than a couple things wrong
He
in
did
that
a lot
story.
wrong, and they address all of those things in the latest cartoon. Like,
It's
for
so-
example,
but-
dating a high schooler.
Yeah, that's what he said was nothing wrong. He's like, in his comments, I screenshotted this too. He's like, if you think that what Scott Pilgrim did was wrong, then you hate Muslims.
Oh, wow.
How does this logic
That's,
follow?
I don't even want context, because that's just the greatest leap of logic I've ever heard.
Exactly. So that's when I was like, then I looked at his follower count, and I'm like, oh, he's got about 300 people. He's got skinny teeth, and he doesn't look healthy.
And it's all bots.
It's not worth my time and mental energy to try to rip into this guy and ruin his life. Now, that being said, he has come up with mutuals that I know, and I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy. I'm not going to get into why I don't feel like doing all that. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember where we were.
I'm pretty sure.
I've been sitting on this for a while, and I'm like, oh, I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy that did the racist video where he depicted a slave, and he's going to take a drink of alcohol, and he does a slave accent. Pretty sure it's the same guy.
No, actually, no.
Not that guy?
No, I know who you're talking about, though. I did make a video about that guy, and that is still, you can go watch it. It got removed from my page because I took a clip of him calling his cat Adolf.
Yep. It's that guy.
and I had to
What
re-upload
internet
it.
are you guys on?
You are
Why is my
I
You
do
are a
Whining the
very-
Gathering. I invite this to myself.
you are a very fortunate, sheltered little angel, and we love you. But we are on this
I mean,
dark
I'm-
side.
No, I'm on like activism TikTok, not whatever the hell you guys have going on.
To be fair, and this is something that I've gotten heat for pretty much since my early days on TikTok, is that we need to get, like, as a community, we need to get better at policing this kind of stuff and calling each other out. Well, not each other, because we're not doing this shit, but calling out these racist, homophobic, transphobic accounts, because if we don't, people don't learn about it, and they build a following, right? Like, and at that point it's too late, because let's be honest, a lot of people in the Magic the Gathering community will follow any page if they see a Magic card. They won't look into their videos. They won't look up their name. They just see, ooh, look, a Magic card. We're good to go. And so, like, it is kind of our responsibility as a community when we see those accounts that are like 100 pack openings and then one video saying that we should stone trans people to death.
Yeah.
We need to draw attention to that one video. Like, I actually got death threats on r/free magic because there was a creator who did basically that. They were doing giveaways. They were doing build this deck with me, blah, 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 blah. And then randomly one video calling for the death of trans people. And a bunch of mutuals I know that are pro-trans or trans themselves were following this person. And I was like, you just don't know. That's what's happening. You don't know. So I made a video spotlighting it.
Yeah, it's those videos, those most out-of-pocket ones that end up having maybe like 100 views and like 10 likes that go under the radar. And that kind of goes into the algorithm. My problems with TikTok's algorithms as well, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, but it's just, it's just kind of...
No, I do. I'm 100% for like calling people out and like highlighting things. I am apparently not in the know on some TikTok people, but like for artists and stuff, whenever
That's good though.
Artists start to, they're like, oh hey, look at this magic art, look, it's so cool, and you're like, hey, by the way, did you know that artist is like a very adamant anti-vaxxer person and some other things,
Or Noah Bradley.
here you go. Well, I wasn't gonna.
Or like, well, why is Invoke Prejudice a bad card? It's just, it's
Listen,
a
we
couple
got
of
into
ghosts
that
on
last
there.
episode.
The card with
Alright.
a literal Klansman on it. Like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
We got into that on the last episode too. But yeah, no, like Noah Bradley is one, and that fucking Noah, that hurt me, like, personally, because I looked up to him as a mentor and somebody that I actually like DM'd with and had, went to after dinner, with the cons after the cons to dinner with and like talked to, and that came out. I was like, oh, this fucking sucks so bad. I wish it was something more akin. Like, it hit closer to home. Like with like Seb McKinnon, right? I'm like, oh shoot, like his artwork's really good, but I don't have any sort of connection to him. I just think that his art's neat, so that you can cut it off. But like Bradley,
It hurts when the call's
that
coming
sucked.
from within the
It was
house.
real bad.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's real hard. Like, I've had to deal with this many times over the years where it's like, yeah, sometimes it's your boy. And this is for any men listening to this or watching this right now. I guess this will be like my closing statement, and then we'll
especially because you've got a veteran and an active duty guy.
Yeah.
It's also your team leader or your platoon sergeant who will say out of pocket shit like, oh, that new PFC, and you got to be the one to step up. It's
the guy you trust to take a bullet for you will just as soon turn around and say the N-word around you, like that's acceptable. And I guess, like I said, this will be my like closing statement, but like to any dudes watching this right now, to circle back to the whole, influx of harassment towards women in the community, sometimes it's your buddy. That sucks. You still have an obligation to call it out. You still have an obligation to stop them. You still have an obligation to tell them that what they're doing is not okay. And when you sit back and go, yeah, but they're my friend, guess what? You're part of the problem. And this is why people like this have been able to exist in this community.
Because you can do it in private if it's your friend.
You have the power to change it. You have the power to change it, and you don't. And we had this issue. I don't give a shit. I'll say his name. The whole Nordic issue 2 years ago, and a lot of his buddies didn't understand why we turned against them, and it's because they did nothing. It's because they sat there and let him say his shit. And guess what? When you are friends with somebody who is out of pocket and you do nothing about it, you're just as out of pocket with them. So, yeah, call people out, police this community. Let's keep it acceptable for everybody. And, everybody's welcome. Conservatives, liberals, Christians, Muslims, atheists, it doesn't matter. As long as at the end of the day we respect each other and we keep it about a fucking card game, which is what it is. Stop condoning for people's death when we're talking about fucking card games.
Yeah.
We'll get along with everybody. It's really not that hard. It's really not. So, but that's all I got. Is if you want to close with anything and then we'll let Metal say his last plugs or anything.
No. I've been moving all week. I'm exhausted. But seriously, like, if you see some shit, call it out. What Doggo said. I'm just gonna say, listen to him, because he's smart sometimes in things, maybe.
That's right. Listen to the white man on women's issues.
It can be scary, though, right? Especially in our space, a lot of people, like myself, have super bad anxiety and are neurodivergent. So, like, wanting to call somebody out is not easy. What I have done in the past is, if it is somebody that I know, and I see it, I'd be like, hey, screenshot. This is an interesting thing for you to say. How about that? And then they either are like, oh, what's wrong with it? Or they double down, and then if they double down, you're like, hey, blah, 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 don't do this, this is why. And if they double down again, you're like, all right, well, that's cool for you to think, I guess. Bye.
Yeah. See, that's why, and I know I said we would be done. I promise this is my last point. But that's why it's so important for those of us that are neurotypical and those of us that have a voice, those of us that are not prejudiced against for simply existing. This is why it's so important for us to speak up, because not everyone has a voice. Some people are on the spectrum and don't know how to speak up. Some people have anxiety issues and can't speak up. Some people are the person being attacked and their voice is clearly trying to be silenced. And if they defend themselves, then they're just being defensive. So it's so important when people who are in a position of privilege have the opportunity. We need to step up and do something. But I'm officially done. I'm cutting my mic.
I guess my last few points. If you see something shitty, call it out. Don't add to the problem. At the very least you can do is not add to the problem. And then talk to people, engage with people that you normally don't. And also, not every space is meant for you. I'm not upset that I'm not a part of GDH. Shout out to them. I'm not upset about that because I can if I am really hurting to play some Magic, I can just go to a game store and play with almost anybody. So not everything is for everybody, and that's fine. It's still equal. If you, at the very least, don't add to the problem. If you don't have that courage, and it's fine to not have the courage to speak up and publicly call out a specific person for doing something specific, especially if you know them, you can still distance yourself in a respectful way. You don't have to make it a big public spectacle, but if you allow that kind of stuff in your life, it's going to you're either saying it's okay, or
at the very least it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Last thing, support your local game stores. Not the shitty ones, but also be an informed consumer. That's another really good thing I'd like to say. Be an informed consumer
good words.
to the very best. Because the only way to be totally 100% cruelty-free is to never have been born at all. And since that is impossible to do, at the very least,
I wish.
understand there is a cost to everything. And it's okay, I guess. I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We are running
like,
out of time to get to
we
that
are
one.
stuck in this Yeah, we are stuck in this capitalistic hellscape, so we have to exist within it, but like you can be conscious of how you are existing within this capitalistic hellscape.
The world is hell, everything's on fire. Be nice to your fellow person and stand up for people who are being silenced. There you go.
Yeah.
With that, go check out our awesome guest, Metal Magic Games.
Yes, that's me.
On TikTok, he does a hilarious series called Whining the Gathering. And I gotta say, super real quick plug, he did a video recently where he's eating a sandwich, and it's the funniest fucking thing ever. Just like every slow zoom in on you, like, I'm like, I don't even care what this video's about. This is gold. But also, it's a really good video. So yeah, go check them out. Izzetrix, myself, our links will be in wherever you're listening to us. But yeah, thank you for joining us on Snarg's House of Sin. Hope this was super chaotic for you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Pretty chaos.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.
Okay.